Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is March 1st and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to number 3 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. So when it comes to the spirit animal, we have the octopus energy jumping out today. So the octopus energy jumps out today. Jupiter is the ruler of the day. Jupiter and Venus, because Friday is associated with Venusian energy. Venus is in Aquarius at 17 degrees. And Jupiter also influences the day because the energies in the day adds up and reduce to the number 3 vibration. So with Jupiter influencing the day along with Venus, the word overindulgence comes to mind for today. But I feel like if overindulgence comes up or you're dealing with overindulgence, just know that it's a way of like escaping your current reality. It's like silencing your mind, silencing the mind and escaping the current reality. The reason why I say that is because with today being the 1st of March, the number 1 energy deals with ideas. It deals with thoughts. And the number 1 energy, just like the day adds up and reduces to number 3 vibration, both those energies are masculine energy. Masculine meaning that they're action-oriented energies. So with today adding up to the number 1, with today being the 1st, that number 1 brings us to a lot of thoughts, like a lot of thinking, a lot of ideas, great ideas. I feel like for the month of March, you definitely want to keep your journal close to you, close to your bed even, because you'll find yourself having like a lot of dreams that will give you new ideas and new ways of seeing things. But a lot of new ideas that you want to pursue. But for me, I feel like if we were to keep a journal and keep track of all the great ideas that come into our minds on a regular basis, we would realize that they're small pieces of the puzzle that could come together with all the other ideas and help us to see like the whole. It's like saying this is like a puzzle and it's like chopped up in little pieces, and each little piece is a little idea that you have that feels like a separate idea, but when you bring them all together, you'll notice that there's a common theme or a thread running to those ideas. And it's so interesting how those ideas will be very similar to the real thing that we're supposed to be pursuing, but they'll be different in a way. They'll be different in a way that they're not as terrifying as the real thing that you're meant to pursue, whatever that real thing is. So the month of March to me is big when it comes to that. And talking about March, so March is the 3rd month. So with March being the 3rd month, yes, for those of you, I'm smiling because for those of you who are creatives, this could be the month where you start at least 3 different businesses or 3 different projects and not see any of them through. And the reason for that is, you know, in the moment, the idea is so exciting to the point that, you know, you go all in. But at the same time, what we might not be looking at clearly is the process of getting us to the goal. So the idea of this thing sounds great, but is the process in alignment with my truth? Does the process fit me, in the sense that, you know, someone could imagine themselves taking on a certain career field, But when it comes to that certain career field, it requires a certain process. It requires associating yourself with certain kind of people, every day being a certain kind of way. And it's like, the idea sounds good, but when you think of the process that will get you to that idea, that just doesn't, that's not in alignment with a person's truth. So that might be a reason why they don't pursue it. This month, the month of March, to me is the month of procrastination if you're someone who's scared. Procrastination in the sense that we procrast for one or two reasons. We procrast because we're truly not interested. We procrastinate because we're truly not interested, or we feel like we don't have what it takes to make something happen. And that clicked for me when I used to like observe myself closely and as to why I didn't see things through, because I struggled with this energy that the month of March will reflect within all of us. The energies don't make us do anything. They just reflect what is. So I struggled a lot with starting things and not seeing them through. And from starting a thing and not seeing it through, it would waste a lot of money for me, and it would waste a lot of energy and cause me to feel ashamed of the fact that it felt like I felt like a joker, because I would always run to certain people in my life and tell them the great ideas that I have and what I'm gonna do. And I would start and they'll check back to me and I'm off to something else. And sometimes even forgetting like what I told them that I wanted to do last week. And at the moment when I was talking about the thing that I wanted to do next, like I was truly into it. Like, you know, I was truly excited about it. But then after, you know, I wouldn't be interested at all. And, you know, and that's when it came to me, we procrastinate for one of two reasons. Either we're genuinely not interested or we're terrified. We feel like we don't have what it takes. So I used to beat myself up for not following through with things until it clicked to me, oh, it's because I'm genuinely not interested. And if that's the case, then I really need to move on quickly and not waste time, focus on a thing that I'm genuinely not interested in. So when I started noticing that, okay, this thing over here, I'm interested in it, but the reason why I don't follow through with this is because it's terrifying. Once I realized what scared me, then I knew where I needed to focus my attention. So when it comes to, say, writing down all your thoughts and ideas and things that you could see yourself doing, you want to search for the ones that scares the poop out of you. The ones that terrify you, pretty much you could sum it up to the one thing that you would find pleasure doing, you would enjoy doing. But, you know, we'll come up with other sub ideas that aren't as scary as the main one, but aren't the real thing. So they won't keep our attention for long. And also too, with the energies this month, you know, even with the day adding up to number 3, this could put focus and attention on those of us who are interested in a whole lot of things. And for me, when it comes to, say, those of you who have a lot of talent and you have a lot of interest, for me, what helped me is coming to the realization that I have to pick one. I have to pick one. If I want to see any of them make it, I have to pick one. So I would do this thing with myself that I would imagine that, like, I'm getting ready to go on this boat and move to the other side of the universe, and I might never make it back to this side, but I'm only allowed to bring just so much things because there's weight restrictions or whatever when it comes to the traveling. And when it comes to my dreams and goals, I could only bring one. Of all the things that I'm interested in, of all the things that I'm good at, I could only bring one, and possibly never seeing the others again. And whichever one that I could bring, that's the one that I'm going to focus all of my time, energy, and attention on until it grows into, you know, what I had envisioned for it in my mind. And once it grows to a state where it's mature, it's almost like all of your great ideas are like little children. And you can only bring one with you, and you have to leave the rest behind. So you get to decide, is either you give one a chance of life, or they all pass away. You know, you got to turn your back on all of them, or you pick one. And of course you pick the one that you can see yourself enjoy spending time with, regardless of the seasons that you're in within your life. So for me, when you pick that one, you imagine it's a child. And in the beginning, you know, a child doesn't bring anything to the table other than the fact that they're adorable and the possibilities. So based on this dream or this goal, you might have to have another job or another way to take care of you and it, but you're focusing all your attention on it until it grows into something more mature, it grows into something that could sustain itself and then eventually sustain you, where you could now go back for the others. But the month of March and that number 3 energy of this month, you know, for those of us who are creative and have a bunch of great ideas, like I said, this month you could find yourself pretty much diving into these random ideas. But I feel like for most people, the things that you're jumping into is the not so scary version of what it is that you really know you should be doing. But that thing is too terrifying for different reasons. Number one is like the thought of really failing at it is super scary. So instead, you know, I'll tiptoe and entertain everything else. For someone else, that thing is not something that's sociably celebrated within your family, within your community, by the people that you look up to. So low-key, there's shame associating yourself when it comes to that thing. And it's so interesting when I would do sessions with people and we'll talk about stuff like that. And they'll be like, this thing, I love doing it, but this, that, and the next. And then when we get into the session a little bit more, I'll say, would your dad be proud of you if you were pursuing a career in that? And like, when they're really honest, they're like, no, or I don't think so, or I wouldn't want to present that. Like, it's like I respect them too much to say that I'm doing this or that I'm doing that. So sometimes we don't realize that subconsciously wanting to make certain people proud is a factor. And, you know, deep down, we might not think that this thing that we really want to do is something that would make them proud. So we avoid doing it. With the octopus energy coming out as a spirit animal for today, it brings me to organizing your emotions, because this deals with the water element. So this brings me to organizing your emotions so you could focus your attention. Because when I look at the octopus, I look at all the legs just busy. But whenever I observe them in the ocean, I don't, only in cartoons, I see the legs are doing different things at different time. And if I'm wrong about that, let me know. I guess based on what I would see, it would seem as if they were all working together to focus on whatever it was focusing on. And I guess in my imagination, I would imagine that, I guess the brain would have to be organized the way to be able to focus on the different legs doing their own thing at once. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. But with the octopus energy coming in today, it just brings me to the importance of organizing your emotions so you can organize your attention, so you could maximize your energy. Because whenever our emotions is all over the place, our thoughts will be all over the place, and then our attention and our energy is all over the place. So this is where we find ourselves jumping into things for the sake of jumping into things, and then we end up wasting our resources and our energy when it's all said and done, and then end up feeling like the biggest failures because we didn't see something through or it didn't work out the way we planned, when we set ourselves up for failure to begin with, entering into that thing, because it's truly it's not what we're really interested in most of the time. It's something that looks like, you know, a glamorous calling to associate ourselves with. And the thing that we're truly interested in is a thing that is terrifying. So I mentioned the number 3 and the number 1, the energy today being the first, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to number 3. Those are masculine energies. So it just brings me to the feeling of wanting to do for the sake of doing, like, you know, getting in our action oriented energy. Venus is the ruler of the day, and Venus conjunct Mars is in Aquarius energy, and it's part of a T-square between the moon and in Scorpio, and Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus. So Venus conjunct Mars, we value our motivation, our ability to take action and be free when it comes to whatever it is that we're doing. But with Venus conjunct Mars in Aquarius, I think of Aquarian energy and I think of like fixed air, fixed thought, fixed way of thinking. And if we have a fixed way of thinking, then our fixed way of thinking is only going to help us to create more of what we already have. So at some point we have to recognize our fixed ways of thinking and recognize how that could be a problem or how that could cause us to keep detouring in circles and do something about it. But before we could even do something about a thing, you know, we first have to realize that it's actually a thing and it's actually getting in the way. Just like for me, when I realized that I procrastinated for one of two reasons, and then I realized that, you know, genuinely not being interested is a thing and fear is another thing. When I realized what I was terrified of, then it gave me something to work with, meaning it showed me, you know, the kind of books that I might need to read now, or what I need to meditate on, or what I need to ask my higher self to guide me to focus on, to create more peace in my life. So to me, first we have to realize what the challenge is, what the problem could be in order to address it. But again, today's another day where normally with the moon in Scorpio and how that could be overwhelming and a bit intense, it doesn't feel that way. And I think it's because, you know, Mercury conjunct the sun and Saturn is in Pisces. And with Mercury, the sun and Saturn and Pisces positively aspecting Scorpio, the inner world and who we identify as. So it's like our subconscious and our subconscious and our conscious mind is in alignment. Our inner world and our mind are in alignment. So it's like the entire house is on the same page. You know, it's a strong four. So I feel like that's so positive when it comes to those energies. And with the octopus coming out, it just brings me to organization of the emotions, organizing our emotions, or not even just organizing our emotions. To me, it's a matter of not organizing the emotions. I said that, but that's not what I mean to say. Instead, to me, is becoming aware of the emotions and allowing our emotions to be, and becoming aware of stuff in order to becoming aware. It's like, yeah, becoming aware. I feel like awareness is like the first step in making change. If you feel the need to make any change in anything, is what I'm getting when it comes to the octopus energy. Such a pleasure sharing this message with you. If you'd like to book a natal chart awareness coaching session with me, or check out my exclusive content only available on Patreon, along with becoming a part of the monthly meetup group, the link for that to book with me and to check out Patreon are in the description box below. But before you go anywhere, please let me know you're here with me by dropping me a yellow heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.